What's up, guys? Hear me out. Here we have a 5-year-old about to start kindergarten. His mom gets him some shoes for school. He gonna look kind of fresh, but here's the thing. His shoes are kind of a little too big, and the child's father says, well, why you getting shoes so big? And the mom says, well, he's gonna grow into it. They grow so fast. I can't be buying all these new shoes. He'll grow into it. Okay. And sure enough, the kid does grow into the shoes. Smart move, chess move. Hey, I'm gonna take that advice, or I should if I know what's good for me. These kids, they grow like bamboo. The reason why I bring this up, my friends, is because obviously we're going to reach an age where literally our feet just stop growing. But what I found is that, figuratively speaking, in many other ways, do we just choose to stop growing? And I really started thinking about this. What if we put on bigger shoes? Bigger proverbial shoes. All right, so let me break it down even further. Let's say I wanted to be a speaker, a motivational speaker even. I don't know if that's the thing for me, but I would be getting in my own way if I were trying to do that by saying, well, I don't know. I ain't no Les Brown. Look at him. He's Les Brown. He doesn't stumble over his words like me. Now, compare that to somebody who says, well, I'm not necessarily there yet, but I'm going to put myself in that position and work myself up to there. So, that's much different than assuming the role and acting like you know it all. And, it's okay to not know it all. But when you assume a bigger role, it leaves room for you to grow. Alright? So that's what I'm talking about when we talk about getting bigger shoes. Alright? When it was time for me to be a father, I had no experience. Alright? No nieces. I had little cousins, but I never really made the rules and laid it down and be assertive and things like. I never had the responsibility dropping the kid off, picking up, changing, all these things. But I've been placed into this role. The shoe was much bigger, and with that role, I had to grow. Otherwise, I would be putting myself in the territory of a deadbeat or whatever. Clear, or at the very least, an underachiever. So, in this new role, I prepared myself for it. I studied for it. I asked other people who were there before me. I took those resources with me. I allowed myself to be equipped by these things, and then I took on the role. And then as I started to find out, and as I'll start to find out even more as life goes on, is that a lot of this you just learn on the fly. But I decided a long time ago that this is what I was going to do. When the conversation of abortion was on the table and I didn't have a job for myself, I didn't have a job. I had no job, no money, no income, nothing. I said, you know what? No, please. I will make it work. I'll do whatever I need to do. I will grow. It is time. Now I had to convince somebody who never seen me have a job before that I was going to step up and do everything it took. Alright? I've been upholding my end of the bargain. And I'm going to do this for everything. Maybe I will be a speaker. Alright? Maybe I will be this great leader. I'm preparing myself for that right now. And what am I going to do? I'm going to read the books. Alright? I am going to work tirelessly on dreams, on the things that most people couldn't fathom. I have to. So I can show other people that it is possible. You have to sacrifice yourself for the greater good. This is not turning yourself into a pawn. This is you taking yourself as a pawn, making it across the board and turning yourself to whatever piece you want to be. All right? And I think about this often because a lot of us, including myself, we look at ourselves as if we're frauds, as if we're charlatans, as if we're not fit for the role. And maybe there's some truth there, but it doesn't mean you have to stay there. I would always encourage people to do the work, to study as if, you're just starting. I'm liable to look up on the internet, hey, what's 1 + 1? Because I ain't too sure. And if I ain't too sure about something, I'll look it up, man. There's some words that I've been using since I was 8 years old, and sometimes, I'm not too sure if I'm using that word right. Dictionary app, I'll look it up. Okay? So you have these aspirations. Okay? There may be some barriers in there. The barrier to entry may be a little bit high. But that doesn't mean you can't start prepping yourself for it, man. Like, I never thought that I would be a published author. I never thought that people would flock to me through these YouTube videos. And who knows what's to come next. Like, I never thought I would be a father. I never thought I would make it to be 28, man. I never thought that I would actually be thinking like an adult. I never thought that I would actually be making these sacrifices when I don't even have to. Okay? I decided that I didn't want to smoke and drink. Now, I don't know if I'll smoke and drink in the future. That's beyond me right now. But I have control over it. And nobody's putting a gun in my head. This is not so I can get a job. This is so I can clear my mind. And truly rely on everything that's in here. So I can get optimal focus. Optimal clarity. Optimal advancement. Because I sat down with myself and I said, you know what? Nobody's going to save you but you. And you can transform yourself into something that is so tangible, so real, so powerful that other people from positions, that you came from can take that and say, you know what, I can do that too. I have an important role to play. Just like many of you. And there's always this voice in my head, just like it may be a voice in your head telling you that there's more out there. But in order to do that, you gotta be like those old hot air balloons. You see them on the cartoons where they throw the sandbag down and then they start ascending higher and higher. You have to do that. You gotta get rid of some things. Leaves this void, but you take this void and you start adding things that's really going to add to the quality of your life, my friends. So people say, if the shoe fits, wear it. I say, if the shoe fits, get bigger shoes. Now, not literally. I don't want you walking around here looking like a goddamn clown duck. You know what I'm saying? Walking around looking like a goddamn... What's it? Oh, like a platypus. That's not what I'm saying. But in my mind, it's literally, but figuratively, put on those bigger shoes, man. And when you allow yourself to dream, understanding that people have come from humble beginnings, some places they, worse than where you come from, and they rose to great ranks, it's not because God has chosen this person over you. Yes, there's a little bit of luck that goes into everything, but you can create your own luck. But when you understand this, and you understand the sacrifices that they made, because that's why it's important to read these biographies, autobiographies, watch these documentaries, or whatever it is. It leaves many trails. When you understand these things, and you really internalize it, and you really embody it, and you are devoid of excuses, and it's laid out right there in front of you, that you too can have it. It's not going to come easy, and that's a good thing. Most people aren't going to pursue something greater than them. They are going to be thinking in terms of linear fashion. They might live to be 100. They might get a great paying job, but they may be living for the weekend. We aren't living for the weekend. We're living for life. Okay? Because it's going to go by so fast. Too fast to be relying on 2 days out of the week for joy. And one of those days you're going to be living in anxiety because guess what? The next day there's work. Or on these days you're working on chores or you're getting ready for work or your work is on your mind so you can't even enjoy it, even on vacation. And that goes by so fast. Bigger shoes, my friends. If you are in a position where you have a supervisor, a manager, somebody over you, I can understand how that can make you feel small. Especially with the notion that a lot of people who have these jobs where they have the authority, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. They don't know shit. They think they gotta, you know, walk around as if, God had chosen them to reign supreme over your body and things like that. And they only make, $1 extra per hour than you or what have you. When you understanding all these things, because this definitely happened to me when I was in construction, and it bothered me the way people treated me, the way the higher ups treated the people, their subordinates, and the way the subordinates treated the higher ups, kind of kiss them little ass. When you internalize the notion that any man who treats you like you're lesser than has already lost, that will open you up to focus on your come up. Focus on you coming up. You can do that. Always keep your eyes on where you want to go. Now, you may be eyeing that person's position. You may be eyeing your supervisor's position, your manager's position. You may be eyeing a CEO position of your own. You may be thinking in terms of being your own boss. You keep holding on to that. And you never let where you are dictate where you're going to go. Never. Because the greatest journey is right here in your mind. And so long as you don't allow yourself to fall captive to the world around you, you can create a fate unlike any other, my friends. Please believe me when I say this. Bigger shoes, bigger shoes, bigger shoes. I'm talking Shaq size shoes so you can ball on that bitch ass.